Happy Thursday. Hopefully everyone's having a great day so far. I'll just let everyone join. You can turn your camera on or off, whatever you're most comfortable with. If you're here for the first time, welcome to our Montessori Town Halls. We host these every single week, every Thursday from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern on Zoom as a space for Montessori leaders to come together, exchange resources, ask each other questions, and just find support because we know it gets a little bit lonely at the top. It's important for leaders to have a space to connect and discuss important topics and things that they might have questions about. Today, we're hosting an open forum to talk about benefits for Montessori schools. We know that lately, one of the biggest challenges that schools have been facing is staffing and talent acquisition, and a big part of that conversation is benefits. So we wanted to host an open forum on this, just so that school leaders could touch base on how they're approaching benefits. They can exchange ideas, ask each other questions, because we know it's quite a challenging topic of conversation for Montessori schools. Lots of us lead small schools, so benefits are a challenge for us, but it's great to understand all the options that are out there and to understand what is available to you. As this is an open forum, please feel free to use the chat freely. You can unmute yourself, you can speak up. We welcome that. It's very much a space for you to collaborate and chat with one another. So just a little overview of what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about really why you should be considering offering benefits, certain benefits. I know not every school will be able to offer every benefit that we discussed today. Also, we're going to touch upon what you're looking for in your community when it comes to benefits. What benefit programs have you actually tried or implemented in your community? And then we're going to go over what resources are actually available to you as a school, whether you're a small school or a larger school. And then we're going to open it up for some more questions and general discussion, as this is very much a space for all of us to converse and come together. Hold on, I think I skipped a few slides. So why offer benefits? Well, we know that when job seekers are looking for a new position, benefits play a large role in the decision-making process, oftentimes just as large as a salary, a competitive salary. People are really looking for benefits nowadays. What are the perks that they're going to receive when they work with you or join your community? It can really help you stand out and attract great talent if you're offering benefits. And we're going to discuss a wide range of benefits that you can offer new staff. It also helps with retention and making staff feel safe in your workspace and well taken care of. This is important because we want to hold on to teachers that are so great and valuable to our community. And oftentimes when we don't offer certain benefits, they might move on to other careers where they can be offered those benefits. So it's important to consider that it is an investment in your staff and in your school's future. So something that you definitely want to consider moving forward. So what are some benefits that you can offer as a Montessori school? Here's a list of benefits or perks that you can offer employees. I use perks because some of them are just things that, you don't necessarily have to hire someone or find a broker to integrate these things into your school community. There's simply things that you can just change about your workplace culture, and you can definitely still call them a benefit or a perk of working in your school. So first and foremost is health insurance. We know this is probably the most talked about and challenging in the Montessori space. Paid time off, PTO, retirement plan benefits such as 401k, flexible working schedules, dental insurance, vision insurance, life insurance, paid family leave such as maternity leave, mental health benefits, professional development such as training opportunities, disability insurance, and tuition discounts. So these are all benefits that you can offer your employees. You don't have to offer all of them, of course, but it's good to have a list. If I missed anything, feel free to add it in the chat. If you offer something that is not on this list or just something that's special, feel free to share that. So I'm just going to open it up for discussion now. think I have a delayed clicker. So what do you offer in your school community already? Feel free to utilize the chat or unmute yourself. Let's discuss what kind of benefits are you offering your employees right now?
Camila.
Yes.
Wally here. I just wanted to, I think, depending on the size of the school, some schools are able to offer more benefits because they're bigger organizations. For example, I think some of them will have more comprehensive insurance policies like health, dental, vision, and all that stuff, disability. Smaller schools are not able to do that. So in our case, we do offer the basics, which is the medical. We don't offer dental or vision. We have an IRA plan. We have maternity leave and a few things like that, but not a whole lot more, because I think that's all we can afford to offer.
Of course.
So IRA also, but anyway.
Yeah, it definitely depends a lot on your budget for these sorts of things, the size of your school. As many Montessoris are small businesses, oftentimes nonprofit businesses, it can be challenging to offer the same kind of benefits that a larger corporation could offer its employees. So knowing that is important, and then highlighting what you do offer, because it seems that you do offer a good few benefits to your employees. That's going to be an important part of your recruiting strategy, and making sure that you even if you can't offer everything, it's great to offer something. I see here from Tina, she's does PTO and PD. Emily here says medical, dental, vision insurance, 403B plan, HSA, short-term disability, tuition discount. It's great. Marilyn says PTO and maternity leave. Yep, these are all great. All right. So, oh, I see something else coming in the chat here. We have tuition discounts as well from Tina. That's a great benefit. So what are you looking to offer? This is the next question. What would you love to be able to offer your employees? Let's set some goals when it comes to benefits. If there's something that you would love to be able to offer your staff. Holiday, pay time off, Aurora. Just feel free to comment or mute yourself over what you would love to be able to offer your staff. Benefits for support staff. We do offer a tuition discount. Jan says health insurance, more PTO, health insurance, health. So I'm seeing the pattern here seems to be leaning towards offering healthcare. It's a real challenge in the States because, health insurance is often tied to employment. And when you are a small business, it's extremely expensive to offer that to your employees. Is there an insurance company that works well with others? Aurora is asking that. So if anyone has any experience with an insurance company that works well with others, feel free to comment. We will cover a few options and give some advice for looking for health insurance. It's tricky as well because it kind of varies by state. Not all providers are going to be available in all 50 states. So it takes, research. We'll hopefully go over some tips that are helpful. All right. If anything else pops, comes to mind or pops in your head, feel free to comment in the chat. We'll make sure to read it.
Camila, one more question here before you move on.
Yep.
You, in one of your benefit lists, you had something called flexible work hours.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know if you can elaborate on that or not, because I'm not sure in our environment how we can do that.
Right. It's challenging in educational spaces because obviously teachers need to be there teaching the students at certain hours. But what a lot of schools are looking at doing to counteract burnout, things like that, is offering more part-time positions, having more support staff, just having more substitutes available when teachers want to take time off, even if it's over their PTO. Maybe they just want to take a day off. They don't necessarily want to get paid for it, but they want to have the option to kind of recharge. All of those can help with flexibility. So it doesn't necessarily mean the teacher can just call out whenever they want, but just having certain things in place so that teachers don't feel as burnt out or feel that they can take the time off they need.
We were just recently talking about this with our staff last week, I think, and we had shared some different insurance type programs, really add-ons for their insurance, not straight up insurance from us. And the response was from everyone was, having more PTO, or even just having more time off that was unpaid, just so that they didn't feel guilty about leaving, or guilty about, a child being sick or something like that. So even though that was really what we had in place, just reframing it that way, saying you'll have this many days paid and this many days unpaid, really made a difference in how they felt about it.
That's great, Tina. Yeah, and that's what other people have said as well. When we've had forum conversations or conversations on our Facebook, it seems to be a popular pattern that they don't necessarily expect to have that time paid. They understand that that's not, within reach, but they just want to know that, if their child is sick at home, if they're not feeling well, if they're just burnt out, they can have that extra time to recharge and then come back to the workplace. That's valuable to them.
Mm-hmm. And do you, I guess this is directed at Wally, do you define a certain number of days, like personal days that staff can take over the course of a year?
Yes, Camille, we have in our policy, we offer 5 sick days and 3 personal days off, paid time off. And then based on the conversation that I heard earlier, we can take as many days off without pay. We go bend over backwards to try to accommodate them. For example, just this week, our front staff has basically been out of school for 2 days because her child is sick. So we manage that. We have been doing this all along. We have an extreme case. We have a few employees from India, and some of them, they go for like 3 weeks or 6 weeks, which is kind of a real struggle for us, but we have managed that too. So we do that as much as possible. Of course, there's only so much we can do in terms of paid time.
Right.
That's right. It sounds like you are offering fairly flexible time off.
In that sense, yes.
Yeah.
We understand it's a real challenge, and it's a challenge for the children too, because they want to have the teachers that they're familiar with in the classroom, and that sometimes adds on to the guilt that they feel whenever they leave. I'm seeing here in the chat, Jan says we offer 7 paid time off days. Don't specify sick versus personal days. We offer 7 paid time off days. Janet says as well. Yeah, I think even just offering up, we may not be able to pay you for any additional days off, but you're free to take them to recharge, or if your child is sick, or if you're not feeling well, that is a benefit that you can highlight, especially when you're in the recruiting process. But I think making that clear that, there are certain expectations that the children in the classrooms, they need that regularity is important as well. So there's flexibility within reason.
Right.
So health insurance, this I think was the most kind of dreamed of benefit that we all wish that we could offer our staff. It's most likely going to be the most expensive benefit to provide as well. Realistically speaking, I don't want to say, there's a magic answer to solve all these problems when it comes to health insurance. It's going to be challenging. It varies state from state. So sometimes it can be challenging to have conversations with people from different states who have different experiences with health insurance. I would love to know how many of you currently offer health insurance to your employees, if anyone on the call does. And if you do, what are you using and what advice would you share? Or are we all just not able to do, or haven't looked into this enough, or aren't able to provide this for our staff as of now? Here in the chat, we offer health and dental insurance from BCBS. Okay. Thank you, Janet. All right, well, let's look at some resources and options that are available to small businesses for insurance. It's still going to take time. If you have HR experience, that's great, because you'll probably be able to oversee this a lot more. If not, if you have an HR team, or an HR person at your school. That would also be helpful. Janet also says, we found not using age-related plan and choosing composite saved money. That's good advice. All right, so Healthcare Marketplace is a website I recommend. All of these are going to be linked in the presentation, so you could, if you want to click on these links later, if you're looking at the presentation slides on our Montessori Thrive collection, you can click on all these links. But this is a great website that will allow you to kind of compare Obamacare, health insurance, and Medicare providers in your area. As I said, some are going to be available in every state, some are going to be available in specific areas. It helps you find the right pricing and availability in your state, and it helps you see if you qualify for subsidies to lower your premium costs, which there is a possibility, depending on your area, that as a school, as a small business, you may. Tina's asking Janet here, how big is your school and how long did it take for you to be able to offer health insurance? So yes, if you're looking for a good place to kind of compare options, Healthcare Marketplace is a good place to start. Again, it just kind of takes into consideration your location, and it will just compare those options for you. You can also talk directly to an agent if you want that more one-on-one help. So these are the big health insurance providers in the states. Again, not all of these are active in every state. So these are most likely what you're going to be looking at when it comes to providing health insurance in your school. If anyone is familiar with any of these within your school, feel free to comment in the chat. I'm not sure what, I think Janet was saying Blue Cross, Blue Shield, which is available in all 50 states. I know that one is. I think it's the only one that's available in all 50 states.
Yeah.
I think United is in 49. I think it's just not available in New York, I believe. But it's pretty common.
I think so is Aetna. I think Aetna is also nationwide, isn't it?
It could be. I know for a fact Blue Cross Shield is, I think Aetna is. Yeah, I know Kaiser isn't. This one's only available in, I think, something like 10 states. This one's not as widely available. Janet says we have 85 students, 15 months to age 6. We have offered benefits for the last 15 years, and our school started in 1981. Wow. That's great.
Just as another point here, at my school, my old school, I think there were around 15 to 20 employees, about 120 students, and we offered 100% health coverage for the employee. And if they wanted to put a spouse or children on it, that would be their, they would need to pay for that. And just as a benchmark, overall, the cost for healthcare for the staff, it was about 7% of the overall budget. So it's not minor, but I know that they very, very much appreciated it. So
that is amazing, Camille, because I think not many schools that I know of for 100% to employees. I mean, we ourselves, and I know many other schools offer 50%. This thing not 100%, but if you are able to offer 100%, that's fantastic.
yeah, and I know we're going to talk. We have some more slides about how they go about it, but they go through a broker, which basically went out and found like 3 to 5 plans that would work for the school, and then we chose one of them. So I don't know the details anymore. I've been away for a few years, but they were different deductibles and that type of thing. But yeah, it was and it was something that we felt really strongly about. And I think it really has helped with staffing, honestly. I mean, it's really helped. So, you kind of have to roll that into your tuition, ultimately. So that's just another one more info point there in terms of what we used to do, or still. I know the school is still doing that. So
yeah.
One other item I wanted to talk about is many states have the Montessori Administrators Organization, like we have in Georgia, Montessori Administrators of Georgia. And some of these organizations offer a group plan, health plan, that for some schools may be worth exploring. If they have an organization like that, they might have some good plans you can take advantage of.
Mhm.
Certainly, yeah.
That's a great point, because those are state organizations, and if you can kind of, as a group, a bigger group, get into a better rate then, because there's just more people. So, but I do remember, Janet, your comment about, I think it was Janet, about age-related, yeah. We did find that it's interesting because older people also make it more expensive, but actually childbearing years too can add to the cost.
Yeah, we found that too with older. It costs you more money. As I say, to go with the composite rate now, it evens it out. A few employees may be paying more, but generally it's a good savings on your insurance expense.
Yeah. I probably saved them a lot of money when I left. So.
You also said it helps with recruiting for sure.
Yeah, it does. Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. So Camille mentioned a little bit about finding a broker, but this is going to help you if, you're not an insurance expert. I don't think so. At least if you're in the Montessori space, I doubt that we're all insurance experts. So it can really be helpful to find a broker in your area if you're looking to implement health insurance as part of your benefits offerings, especially if you don't know where to start. Brokers will be licensed by your state. So they'll be, kind of a little expert in your state, your local area. A great place to start is maybe ask around to fellow schools, small schools or small businesses in your area and see what they're using. If they're offering benefits, they might be able to give you some good tips, some good advice. It can be great to look at just what locals are doing because they're going to be most likely having the same options as you would be. The benefits of having a broker is that they're getting paid by the insurance company. So the cost of their service is built into the cost of insurance. There is going to be a cost there, but it all kind of makes sense in the long term because they are going to save you so much time and energy. They're going to be there to basically present you with the best 3 to 5 plans for your school. For your local population, you can decide, you can work with them, and then you can ask some questions. You can have someone to touch base on about insurance benefits. This is a huge time saver, especially for schools who don't have an HR team or an HR person full time. It's definitely worth it to find a broker who's going to find you a great deal on health insurance.
Yeah, I would second that. That's really very important because to do all these comparisons with insurance takes a lot of time. It's really nice to have it done by an expert, and also he's the touch point when something goes wrong. And also, once you establish a relationship with them over time, you really feel like you're getting really 3 to 5, options. And, usually, sometimes we've changed, but generally speaking, we might tweak something, but I think it's a large benefit.
Yeah, definitely. You want to be able to dedicate your time to other things. It's great to just have someone that you can ask questions. Things change with health insurance. There's not always consistencies. So, not having to think about it all the time constantly yourself and having someone else kind of there to answer your questions is hugely valuable.
And it's really hard to compare apples to apples a lot of times.
It is.
Different plans because they're the way they're worded and just all the different moving parts of each plan. So the broker really helps to kind of lay it out in a clear way and say, these are good choices for yours.
Basically, he dumbs it down. So you kind of get, oh yeah, now I get it. But when I first get it, it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
They can also be hugely helpful if you're presenting, your these kinds of finances and the spending to a board.
Right.
It can help you break down the information, understand it, so then you can express those things to a board if you're a nonprofit school. All of these things are hugely helpful when you have a broker, because, you know, we're not experts in insurance as Montessori leaders necessarily.
No.
So
No. Yeah.
any questions about, you know, the benefits of having a broker, finding a broker? Has anyone else worked with brokers and had a good experience? But yeah, definitely if you're looking to offer health insurance, having a broker is going to be hugely helpful to your Montessori school.
Mhm. Mhm.
All right, another area beyond health insurance that you can offer benefits in is PTO and flexible working. We touched on this a little bit earlier. This is a great benefit small schools can offer, because sometimes when we're not quite there yet, where we can't offer 100% on health insurance, or we may not have that on the table for us just yet, we're growing as a school, this is something that we can offer our staff, and it can help you hire great new talent, retain talent, especially now. I think a lot of people are feeling burnt out, and they're really valuing more flexible working, obviously within reason. We're a school, you know, we need that consistency. We need our teachers to be there with the students, but it's being strategic on how you're offering that can really make a difference. As I mentioned earlier, offering more part-time roles, ensuring a good list of substitute. We had a school leader who said the work culture completely changed for her when she had a great contact list of substitutes who could step in at a moment's notice. Her staff felt so much more supported. They felt like they could take a breather if they needed to, if they were having a hard time. This is hugely valuable. What do you do in your community to offer PTO? I know a lot of you said PTO already, but any sense of flexible working? I remember Tina saying that she, you know, just offering that, you know, we may not be able to give you the paid time off, but you have the option to take an extra sick day here and there. All of these things make a difference. Another one is paid family leave or maternity leave. If you can offer this, you don't have to necessarily offer paid maternity leave, but just a maternity leave sometimes is good enough and something you can highlight. This offering is great for school communities to offer. You know, a lot of our staff have young children. They might, you know, be in the process of family planning. So offering this as part of your benefit package can be really incentivizing to some people who are looking for jobs. I see here in the chat, we use a broker, Greg Bonner from Vista International, who I highly recommend. I'm in Geneva, Illinois. Thank you, Janet. If anyone else has any contacts to share, feel free to share. Marilyn says we offer 8 weeks paid maternity leave. That's incredible. That's great. If you can offer paid maternity leave, it's a great incentive, especially since, yeah, a lot of our teachers do have young children or are planning to. A great incentive.
I was trying to remember our maternity leave policy, and I think it was use up the rest of your, you know, paid time off, allocated days. And then there was a certain number, a couple of weeks that were paid at, I don't know, I'm saying a couple of weeks, I don't remember the amount of time, but paid at like 75%, and then a longer period of time, then maybe that was at 50% paid. So it was kind of a compromise, but it was still a lot better than nothing. So anyway, you could get kind of creative. The reason I brought it up is you can get kind of creative with maybe offering, you know, 50% pay for twice as long or something. You know, somebody might be happy with that. So just some ideas.
Aurora and Jillian also say 8 weeks. Yeah, it's great to get creative with your strategies as well. I think even offering 50% pay for a certain amount of that maternity leave is still better than not offering anything at all. So all things to think about.
Also, kind of something that you can offer, we did at our school that really worked well, is to have the teacher bring the infant back and have the infant be in the classroom. And so we also looked at that as a benefit. So we had a whole policy around that. If anybody's interested, I can find that and share it. But so not only you know, offering the time off, but also that they can bring their baby back to school with them and have the baby in the classroom with them.
Aurora says we also do that.
Yeah.
Tina says, if you're able to offer AFLAC teachers who can sign up, get fully paid maternity leave, that's great. Aurora says, I would love to see your policy wording, Camille.
Yeah. I'll dig it up, and I don't have it at my fingertips, but I'll find it for you. Yeah.
Oh, something else here in the chat. Thank you from Aurora. Another area, and this one is, relatively new. I think we're moving into a time where mental health is just discussed a lot more than it used to be. And it's something that, believe it or not, people who are looking at, employment are looking at the benefits from a mental health perspective. So this is where you can be strategic as a school, because this is an area that, we can definitely look in investing in and seeing how we can offer some mental health benefits to our employees. It's a great way to just bring perks into the workplace and incentivize your staff. A good thing is offering a number of mental health days. Even if it's just like 2 a year, 1 a semester, you can just say, we offer 2 days of mental, you can even like re-strategize it. Like instead of pay time off, you can just say, we offer this much pay time off, and we also offer this many days for mental health, because we understand that teachers need that time to recharge. So even just by like rewording it, restructuring it, you can add that as an additional benefit. And people will appreciate it. I think it says a lot about your workplace, your values, how you treat your staff. So that's just something to keep in mind. Wording is important when you're recruiting, thinking of these creative strategies. Janet says we offer 8 wellness days. That's great. You can call them wellness days. I love that. Mental health days. All of this is, believe it or not, something that people are looking for when it comes to a future employer. You can also offer a program to help staff and members fund therapy. Maybe see if you can find a local therapist in your area that you can partner with. You can also send them kind of references, if parents need a child therapist. And then in turn, maybe they can offer you a special discount for your staff. Things like this, you never know. If you don't ask, you'll never receive. You'll be surprised how much there is a willingness to help when it comes to mental health these days, especially for our teachers and young educators. So you never know, there could be a program that you could find a discount for, or that you can help pay for. Just an important thing to consider, maybe offer. Even offering discounts to local gyms, yoga classes, all this is part of mental health, being able to have access to physical health, things like this, they do make a difference. It's your Jillian. In offering wellness mental health days, are there more expectations for when this time needs to be requested, like 24 hours or more? It's a good question. Do they have to give more notice?
More notice than like a sick day, for example. It's a good question.
I would say, sometimes you wake up and you feel drained, and maybe you should allow, within reason, of course, if it's only a limited amount of days per year, for them to, call out. But it would be great if they give you a little bit of notice, so that way you can just have a substitute ready and you can plan properly. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's just a discussion that you can have. You can say, we welcome you to take these days off. It's really helpful when you give us notice, just so that we can have a substitute ready, so that you can take the time off, and, there's no scrambling at the last minute.
Well, and that was kind of my question, because I feel like mental health days kind of sneak up on you. And so that's why I wasn't really sure. But then, traditionally we've called them, well, I just need to take time off. We don't ask if they're sick. We don't ask if it's personal time. And so that's why I was curious if people do have those requirements, and how that was laid out.
Does anyone have requirements for these wellness days? I know, who was it that said that? Janet, that offers 8 wellness days. Or can they just call out the morning of, or the night before? It's a tricky one. I think it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt to be transparent and just let them know, we encourage you to take these days off because you need to recharge. We don't want you to be burned out. It helps us immensely when you just give us a little bit of notice so we can plan, but we understand that those days do sneak up on you. Any other questions or ideas when it comes to mental health benefits or offerings?
One time we had a wellness benefit that was, I think it was like $200 or right around that $200 mark. And we let the teachers decide how they wanted to use that. So if they wanted to use it to, something that just helped their mental health. So if it was, I'm going to go get some more fishing supplies so I can spend the weekend at the lake, or I would like to go get a massage, or I'd like to get some yarn and knitting needles, or like you said, a gym membership. So it was flexible. They just filled out a form saying what they would like to use it and how, how it was for their mental health, for their, it was before we were saying mental health all the time. That was something nice.
That's great. Some great ideas. I see here, Janet says, we appreciate having them schedule in advance, but we also grant them when needed. That's great. Marilyn says we offer paid snow days. That's great as well.
We do that quite a bit in terms of, I think in our contract, it is that any days off because of inclement weather, we pay them. I mean, that's part of our contract with employees.
Yeah. I think all of these are important things to mention in your recruiting process, because they are benefits that you're offering employees. So it's all about strategizing and how you're going to communicate that. All right, I'm going to move on to see in the chat. All right, dental insurance. This one might be another costly element of your benefit offerings. Many schools, what they'll do is they have their employees pay for their own dental coverage, but they offer assistance, like just with the planning process. There are several brokers and providers as well that can work with smaller businesses when it comes to dental insurance. Oftentimes, your broker can help you with dental and health insurance together. So if you find a great broker, these will normally be kind of like a package deal. They'll help you with things as well, like vision insurance, dental insurance, et cetera. So that's just something to think about. If you have a dental insurance plan or any coverage, feel free to comment in the chat. I'd love to hear what you guys are using. If you're using any dental insurance. Jenna says, my broker helps with our medical and dental plan. Yep. This is something that it's great if you offer it. I think that most people are really, more than anything, looking for health insurance. Dental falls under that umbrella, but is strangely separate.
But that's the nice thing about the broker is that you can offer it. Maybe has to pay for it, but you're, kind of making it easy for them to sign up for it. So as part of the overall plan. So rather than everybody just kind of off on their own, trying to find their own, if they even want to find some. So they obviously can opt out of it if they don't want it, but it's there and it costs X amount, kind of a thing. So,
and it also helps a lot, particularly if you have staff who are from another country. I mean, to make it easier for them, when you just put the plan in place and say, yeah, it might be higher than we'd like, we're only paying 50%, wish we could do 100, and maybe someday, but it's the kind of thing, it's all set in stone for them. And it's a very, it's a good community builder, because they all feel like, oh, everybody's in the same plan. We're all together in this. And I don't want to really take the time to search it all out. So.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's really where the benefit lies, especially with dental insurance. Yeah. Just avoiding that hassle of paperwork and just saying, we have a plan, right. May not be able to pay it, but we can help you. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
We also offer, if somebody say is a Medicare age and wants to go on that to save the school money, and they'll do a separate plan, but we still pay them the amount that they're paying for their insurance 50%, of course, but even if they're outside our plan, if they're currently employed.
Right. That's great. We're going to look at some dental insurance brokers and services. Of course, if you're working with a great broker, they'll be able to help you across benefits. So whether it's health or dental, it should really be your aim. But here are just some providers as well, some websites to check out if you're, looking to offer some dental benefits. So Delta Dental is great. They have a special offering for small businesses. So if you're looking to offer just a plan, and of course, this is not something that you necessarily have to pay for your employees, but just something that you can look to structure it and offer them an option for dental insurance. If you're looking just to say across the community, we work with Delta Dental. This is not a company that we have experience with. We're not paid to speak for them, but this is just options that are out there. Just a brief disclaimer. These were also recommended by some other schools who responded to our questions throughout the week, who have worked with these companies. No affiliation with Nido Marketing or Montessori Thrive.
We have, we don't offer Delta Dental for the school, but I have Delta Dental myself on a personal. I think that's one of the better insurance companies. I can vouch for that. We also had MetLife at one point in time. They were a lot more expensive.
Yeah. There's going to be price differences, but what I like about Delta Dental after doing a little bit of research is that they have a really great kind of small business program. So if I'm assuming most Montessori schools tend to be on the smaller scale, we're not mega public schools usually. So this one would be, a good option to offer. Another one here is Guardian Life. This is another one that has a great kind of small business dental insurance plan. Just another option. Of course, you can compare and contrast the services. A broker will also help you just kind of figure out what plan is going to work best in your area for your community. But these are just options if you're looking to offer or implement dental.
Actually, that's the one I have for dental at my school. We're very pleased with Guardian.
Is it good? Have you had a good experience with it?
Yeah. Yep.
Great. Yeah. I just love these two companies. Again, I have no personal experience with them, but I think after doing some research, they have been recommended by several schools, including yours as well. But they seem to work well. Another one is eHealth, another one that has affordable small business and group dental insurance. I think this one does good prices for groups. So if you have a group of employees who are interested in coming together for dental insurance, this is a good option as well. But yeah, those are just some choices. If you want me to go back or if you have any questions or want to reference them later, let me know. Another major benefit that we can offer as schools is tuition benefits. I think most schools already do this, but it's a great incentive for attracting and retaining staff, is offering an employee discount or tuition. It can be 50%, it can be 70%. I've even heard of schools who just let their children go completely for free. This all depends on your tuition, how your financing works, how many staff members have children enrolled, of course. All of these things are factors to take into consideration, but this is hugely beneficial for attracting and retaining staff, because if you have a great Montessori school, it's a place where parents want their children to be. If there's a teacher who has a child enrolled in the school, it can be a huge incentive for them to have that tuition discount, especially if they're going to be in programs for a few years. Does anyone do this already? If so, how much, what percentage are you offering in your community? Jillian says 75%. The school I worked at, it was very few. It was a very small school, but it was 100%. Tina says 100% for first child, 50% after that.
And that means you guys are referring to the discount, right? So for Jillian, they only pay 25%. Yeah, okay. And at my school was 50% off, so yeah.
And it says we offer 50% tuition discount to start, and if you're longer than 3 years, we offer 100%. at that time for the second child. So all of these are important things to highlight during the recruiting process, because, you know, if you have staff who have young children or are looking in the process of family planning, this is going to be a huge incentive for them, because it would essentially, they're getting something worth several $1,000s a year for free as a perk of working with you. So this is a huge, huge benefit that many schools can offer. So definitely highlight that in your recruiting process. And also it helps immensely with retention, because those parents are going to want to keep their child in the school with that discount. It's great for community building as well, because your staff will build such a stronger connection to that school as well. Tina says, yes, I should qualify by saying that the discount came after teachers had been with us for a few years. It was 50% before that. Great points, but this is definitely a benefit that you should consider if you can. Training and career development benefits. This is another great one for us as Montessorians. We know that, well, if you're AMI or AMS, there's certain training qualifications needed, but many of us are hiring people who we're paying their training. This is a huge benefit that we need to highlight to them. You know, you are getting free training. You're going to come out with all these qualifications to teach in a classroom. This is a great benefit that you're offering. It's great for attracting new talent. It's great for retaining new talent, because you're offering training every year, especially if my school was AMI. I don't have a lot of experience with AMS, but it required a certain amount of training hours per year. So they're getting that development year upon year. So these things are huge selling points when you're trying to retain and attract staff. You can also offer special training opportunities, like special courses. If you see a teacher who has an interest in a certain area of teaching that they really want to build upon, this can be an incentive as well. And it comes back to you because you have more qualified staff. So that's great. Janet says, also at a personal review time, I do a spreadsheet showing the actual numbers that the school pays and benefits, not just a salary number. That helps kind of just show what you're actually giving your staff. So that's great. But yeah, definitely highlight those training and career development benefits if you can, just from the get-go. You know, every year we're offering you the opportunity to build on your career, to learn more. Janet also says, we offer 100% for the Montessori training, a 2-year commitment. We spend the money and send all Montessorians to the regional Montessori conference annually. Yep. Highlight all of these things as part of your benefit offerings, because this is, you know, not every company will offer year upon year training. So this is important. Retirement is another area that you can look at as a Montessori school to offer your staff. Offering an opportunity for your employees to join a retirement plan can make a big difference in your school's retention. Maybe not so much. I mean, you have long-term thinkers, maybe with young people, but especially with those staff that has been with you for several years and are looking towards, you know, what is my plan for retirement? This is important. Do you currently offer any retirement options for your staff or on your school? Feel free to comment in the chat. It's great if you do. I know a lot of people will just look at retirement options on their own, separate from work, but sometimes it can help when you offer some guidance or you offer a package that they can pay into. It can be helpful. Janet says, we do offer a simple IRA plan with an employee after 6 months with a 3% match. That's great.
I know at our school we had one of the parents was a financial advisor, and so he volunteered to set up a 401k for the staff, and so now there is a 401k there. It's not matching, but I don't think it is. And this all happened after I left, so I don't know the details about it, but that's another resource maybe to look at if you have any parents that are financial advisors or in that area, to ask, even just asking for their advice on maybe how to set things up. They might know things that we don't know. Jillian says, we do employee contribution plans and employer contribution of 5% after 1 year of employment. That's really nice. Thanks, Janet, for joining. Oh, she left.
Yeah, anything you can offer, even if you're in a position where you can't necessarily do any type of matching, even just offering, we help our employees set up a 401k just so that they have a plan for retirement. That can even make a difference. And you can work with a broker or a financial advisor or something of that sort to help you set that up for your employees, because it does make a difference. The guidance sometimes is worth a lot, because as an individual, you would probably have to pay a fee in order to figure out how to set that up for yourself. So you are still offering a benefit, even if you're not necessarily able to match it. So just some retirement plans and providers, just to help you kind of set those things up if you want to for your staff. Vanguard's a great one. This one is recommended by Camille School because they're pretty cost effective in terms of admin fees. You can also, if you're using a payroll company, you can set automatic upload. So every time that they receive a paycheck, their 401k will receive a certain amount of whatever amount that they are comfortable with in order for their retirement investment to grow over time. So all of these things are helpful. You can do that manually as well, but if you want to save time, you don't have to do that. It's a great option if you're looking at, offering 401ks or just assistance with 401ks. That's an option for you. If anyone has experience with this, with Vanguard specifically, or any 401 or retirement plan, feel free to comment.
Camila, we don't offer, it's not a 401k. We have something called Simple IRA plan, which is also like a pre-retirement, pre-tax thing. And the company matches 3% of the salary. We don't have to any, there are no admin costs that we pay from our side.
That's great.
So that's the one we have been using for a while, and it's a different kind of retirement plan, but there's the same idea.
Yeah, and there are various options. So it's good to see what's available and what you can afford and what's good for you to offer. So all of these are.
And what your staff wants too.
Yeah.
But it is a really nice thing to offer. So Voya.
Yeah, another one is Voya. This one's just more than just retirement. They offer a group of benefits. So if you're looking for kind of a more broad service, but they do help with retirement plans, 401ks, etc. So this is just another option for you. It's more financially leaning, but just another option if you're looking at offering 401ks. I'll talk a little bit as well about HR or resource providers, because when we talk about benefits, it's important to talk about HR. That's a huge chunk of it. JustWorks, this is recommended by one of our Montessori Thrive members. It's basically a payroll, HR, and benefits provider. So it's going to help you kind of organize things. It works with you to develop a plan that works for your school, and it can help with health benefits as well. So this is just a great kind of overall HR service. If you're looking to outsource that, if you don't want to do it yourself, or if you don't have an HR person, that's an option. They have different pricing. They're pretty reliable. They were recommended by one of our Montessori Thrive members, so that have had a good experience with it at their school. And there's also going to be that consulting and 24-hour support, which is going to be helpful if you're not an HR expert yourself and you just are looking for that support in that area. I apologize. I think I have a delayed, I click and then it loads like, and then it skips. Another one is Bamboo HR. This is similar to JustWorks. It's just another option for an HR software that will collect and organize all the information you gather throughout an employee life cycle. It similar but different. You can kind of see which one will work the best for you. It also helps you track things like paid time off, payroll, etc. Just another option for you. If anyone uses a great HR or payroll service, feel free to comment that as well. It also helps with
about a company, Camila, I would be concerned about a company that calls itself Bamboo.
Why is that?
Well, it doesn't seem like a very professional name, but maybe I'm biased.
I don't
Obviously,
know.
obviously a young company, right, Wally?
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they will not come up with such an innovative name.
Maybe it's because bamboo grows so fast.
Good.
Yeah.
Good point.
So fast. I don't know.
It does Bamboo, it does also offer hiring and onboarding support. So if that's something that you're looking to get some help on. If you absolutely don't have an HR person, or you're overwhelmed and you don't want to do this, services for you are available.
This is
Another
one-
option here.
this is
You
one
can
that
talk
I-
about this one, Camille.
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar, just yet another one. I don't know what you think of this name, Wally, but it's just another one that kind of is all in one service for doing all different things. I think the next slide. Yeah, so payroll, health insurance, as well as like retirement planning. You can track time and time off, you know, hiring, onboarding, kind of, you have all those forms and everything. So, and the price that I saw was $46 a month for this. So, anyway, that was just another one I throw into the mix because I've heard good things about it. So,
Camille, I have one general question about the HR services. We have never used one. We just do things piecemeal, like we have a payroll company, we have basically a broker for health insurance and so on. I often wondered if hiring a HR company, if it's cost effective or not. I mean, I don't know what the thoughts of the group is, or your thoughts, because I have no experience with it.
it's a great question and I don't have the answer. So I think it's probably, you know, you'd have to look at it on a case-by-case basis and look at what are your expenses now with the different services, and then, you know, get a couple quotes or look at a couple of these kind of all-in-one services and see how they compare. I don't think, I don't know if anybody else has any experience with them, but I do not. I don't think Camilla does.
No,
Sorry.
I do not. Unfortunately,
Woodpecker on my house. I thought someone was knocking on my window.
I heard it.
I thought Woodpecker was the name of the company.
Yeah, we'll start one.
Some creative company names here. Yeah, I would say, you know, a lot of these, they will do free consultation calls. So maybe it's worth checking them out and seeing. They will simplify things in the sense of it's all kind of in one place. But if what you have currently works for you and is still cost effective for your school, and you don't see a need to change it, you can continue with what works for you.
I mean, the nice thing about a broker is that typically you know, it's a live person that you can sit down and meet with, and, you know, it's not just some, you know, online company that's doing it. So it's usually a little more personalized, I think.
Yeah.
One thing you said, Gusto offers talent management for the schools. Do you have any idea what that might mean?
I think what that means is, let me check, actually. I read through it and now I can't remember exactly.
Anyway, you can let me know later on if you want.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume that maybe means development, but like
Performance reviews and development, yeah. So
Oh, okay.
building a culture of feedback, you know, how, I think it's probably kind of helping with performance reviews and things like that. So
That would be very, you know, if this company is focusing on like Montessori type of schools, or is it general small business company?
it's just small businesses in general. Yeah.
The reason I ask is that this whole ball game of annual appraisal and performance evaluation, all that, is just so unique to Montessori environment and how you do it and what I find it is very different from I mean, when I was in a corporate world, I found it is very, very different than what you do here. And this is something that personally we don't do very well yet, and we really don't have a good process. So if there was someone who would help with this streamlining it and actually customizing it to a Montessori school, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do a whole town hall on how to do great performance reviews. But I don't know enough about Gusto to know how customizable it is, but that would be a good thing to look into. And we can try and look into that a little bit.
I mean, at one point in time, what we were doing is we're asking before the performance appraisal, we were basically asking them, here are the bunch of questions. Why don't you appraise self-appraisal and bring in the appraisal process or in the meeting? And many of them, I think a lot of them, just basically rank themselves A+, and across the whole thing. That was the end of the dialogue, because how do you go from there and tell, hey, you need to improve these different things? And that became a really awkward situation.
Yeah, it's also so different, because I think when you're looking at the corporate world, you're looking at numbers, you're looking at different areas of performance. When it comes to a school, it's so much more personal and one-on-one. So it's a completely different grading chart. It's very difficult. Yeah, definitely a challenge.
That's one topic I would suggest Camila have down the road for discussion, not discussion, but maybe you can bring a speaker, how to do performance evaluation, annual performance of Montessori staff in a school. That would be a great one. At least, I mean, I struggled that with a lot. I'm not sure if other people do, but that'd be a great topic to at least learn and get educated about it.
That's a great idea. I'll look into planning that as a future town hall, because I think we've talked about feedback before, but it would be great to have a speaker to see how they operate their performance reviews. So I'll look into that, Wally. Hopefully that'll be helpful.
At least to me, for sure.
All right, just before we finish off, just a couple more HR consultants and resources. I think if you're looking for an HR consultant or just an HR specialist to outsource, you can look at places like Upwork. You can look at contractors if you want a one-on-one person that you can talk to. Also, doing your research on LinkedIn. This is a great way to find local consultants, brokers, and providers, especially within your area. If you have a larger school, that's a big if, because I know a lot of us are 200 students or less. It's definitely great to consider having an HR professional or a team to oversee benefits, payrolls, different plans. I know there are big Montessori schools out there who have a whole HR department or have an HR person full-time. That can make a huge difference. But if that's out of your budget, there are still options. You can work with a broker. You can outsource work or outsource an HR specialist. There are affordable ways to do it. Also ask around in the school community. You never know. I know that we often look at schools in our area as competition, because they are. But I think when it comes to things like this, it's sometimes okay to have, a conversation about, oh, are you offering benefits? Who's your broker? How are you approaching this? Hopefully there's a willingness to help. I think there will be, because it would be an ideal world where every school can offer their employees great benefits. So just some ideas there. If anyone else has any ideas or comments. I think that's the end of our, delayed clicking. This is so strange. It's not happened before.
Dots where you're clicking.
I know. I'm not even clicking. It's just where my mouse is. There. Finally on the thank you screen. I'll go ahead and stop sharing because we're a little bit over, but I just want to see if there's any last minute questions or comments. Or a thank you for joining. We won't be here next week, so it'll be Thanksgiving. I doubt you guys want to join in when you're with your families on Thanksgiving. So have a great Thanksgiving week. Hopefully you can enjoy some time with your family, some time off to recharge, and we'll be back on the first week of December.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.